Hey YouTubers, it's Charlie. So this is going to be my Walking Dead episode 6 video. All Carol, all Daryl. Totally explained what happened up to the moment Daryl came back to the church. After the Abraham episode last week, I thought they might be jumping backwards in time. We also found out what Carol was doing between the time she left Rick in season 4 and came back to save them. I think the most exciting thing though is the last couple of minutes. It basically explains what the finale is going to be. Quick reminder, new round of the giveaway starts now. All you have to do to enter is be a subscriber and leave a comment on this video. Careful for spoilers from the episode if you haven't seen it yet, starting with top 5 moments. Number 5, Carol's backstory. So just like Abraham's episode last week, the episode jumped between present day and the past. It broke Carol's backstory up into slow pieces from right after she left Rick, crying on the way down the road, all the way up to the minute that she saw the prison fire, then finally right after she rescued them from Terminus, or helped them escape. It was really interesting in this episode that she said, "I think that we don't get to save people anymore." I'm not sure that she believes that. I think it's a situation where she cares way too much about the people in the church. That's why she was trying to leave when Daryl caught her. I think she's just so worried about them. That's why she was so quick to try and kill Noah. By the end, she had totally come to her senses too. Like they had completely flipped positions. Daryl wanted to leave Noah behind. She wanted to save him. So she's not too far gone, despite being hit by a car. I feel like that's a good PSA for looking both ways before you cross the street. Seriously, if you have a child, just show them that scene. Number 4, surprise, it's Noah on the run. If you're confused about the timeline, he ran into Daryl and Beth for the first time right after he escaped from the hospital. Couple of stray observations during this scene. 1, probably never going to want to go camping again. 2, never try to steal Daryl's crossbow. It will not end well. When Noah got caught under the bookcase, did anyone else get a flashback to Bob in the grocery store, like whenever the liquor case fell on top of him? It's almost like karma was punishing them for doing something really terrible. Karma in this case being Daryl. Such an action hero dude moment when he lit that cigarette after taking his crossbow back. Imagine what would have happened if he tried to steal the poncho too. Daryl would have pushed him out a window. The minute Noah appeared, it was pretty clear what the end of the episode was going to be. We knew Carol was going to end up captured in the hospital, and we knew Daryl was going to be back at the church with a mystery person. The big question was just how Carol ended up in the hospital, whether she did it on purpose or whether it was an accident or they captured her. I guess you can consider getting hit by a car to be halfway in between there. Like she didn't do it on purpose, but they didn't capture her. So many everybody hates Chris jokes in here. It's not all bad. He has the information that Daryl and the survivors will need to get Carol and Beth out of the hospital. Number 3, WTF van ride over the bridge. Another great PSA for wearing your seatbelt. It's a new goal of mine now to petition AMC to make that car ride over the bridge part of the AMC Walking Dead experience next year at Comic-Con. I would totally sign a waiver for that in a heartbeat. Such an awesome Thelma and Louise moment for Carol and Daryl. The crash also tees up the Carol hurt storyline, like she's gonna need some sort of care. If you notice, her wound was basically in the same place that Bob's was whenever he got bit. Like he got bit like I think right around here. Anytime any of the main characters gets like really badly wounded on the show, you always wonder what's gonna happen. It's like, I don't think they're gonna die, but at some point they're gonna have to deal with that giant gash. That's actually one of the big conversations about Abraham that's still going on, like his hand wound. Number 2, comparing old Carol and Daryl to the new versions. It's been a long time since season 1, so hopefully everyone has evolved as a character. Sometimes people backslide, but it was awesome to hear Carol sort of recap her life as well as Daryl's. He used to be a boy, now he's a man. Pretty simple. Carol, a little bit more complicated. That's just why she's one of the more interesting characters. The most messed up ones are always the most interesting. Speaking of messed up, did you see that Daryl stole that book about childhood abuse? That's a nice callback to that episode with Beth where he talked about his childhood. I think it was implied in that episode. I think we kind of understood that his parents abused him, or his dad did. I can just see everyone crying if we find him reading it later. Poor little Daryl. It's the same story with Carol. They're both victims of abuse. Think about what Carol said though. The Carol that she used to be just kept getting burnt away. The original Carol, like season 1 Carol or pre-season 1 Carol with Sophia, who just went back to her husband Ed and kept getting abused. She was burnt away. Cut to the prison. She gets to be like a normal person, someone she thought she could be. Things go sideways. That Carol gets burnt away. And now she's just not sure who she is. She's like almost too fried. She has to find a way to evolve or die. Matter has 2 states of existence, growth and decay. Or in this case, growth or Walker. Fingers crossed that this version of Carol does not literally get burnt away in the finale. And my number 1 WTF moment, of course, Carol gets taken to the hospital and Daryl forms a plan. I don't think the police officers intentionally hit her. I think they were just going really fast. That is why you must always look both ways before crossing the street. especially if you're on a television show. So fast forward to next week, what's going to be happening now? Just like last year, probably going to be a 2-part finale. So part 1 will be the attack, part 2 will be the resolution. They have a lot of people and a lot of guns, so do we. The fact that they showed Abraham's group in that teaser too is kind of interesting. Right now they either have to turn around and come back, or they have to move on to DC. Last year after the mid-season finale, everyone was split in all different directions. I don't think they're going to do the exact same thing. That's why I think that their group is just going to continue on to DC. Option B, though, is that they could run into the survivors and help out during the finale. Just to talk about the biggest rumors I've seen so far, one is that Carol dies, sacrifices herself from Beth. The other big rumor, that Beth dies. Obviously, both rumors talking about someone big dying. I haven't seen any spoilers, so you don't have to worry about that. But I think The Walking Dead has finished filming the last half of the season, or at least they have had their wrap party. I'm not quite sure how far ahead they film, but I think that they're done with all 16 episodes at this point, because usually they start filming in the summer. The really fun thing, I know a lot of you guys don't celebrate Thanksgiving because you're in international countries, but here in America, we have like a big Thanksgiving holiday. Walking Dead is like right after that, so I am very thankful for that in advance. So it's totally subtext, but I have to address Carol and Daryl. I have to address that ship in this episode. The minute they landed in that bed together, I saw so many pictures post on Twitter. I feel like if you want them together, this is the closest you're ever going to get. Like they're never going to consummate that relationship. The Walking Dead is not a hopeful show. It is a tragedy. They should just call it The Walking Tragedy. I know that sounds kind of pessimistic, but I feel like the characters just do not get a happy ending. Yeah, if you could live long enough, eventually the walkers would die off, but it's not a hopeful show, although there are hopeful moments. Let me know though, what was your favorite moment from the episode, and what do you think that their plan of attack is going to be whenever they come back to try and get Beth and Carol out? I feel like it's going to be a reverse version of what Terminus was. Like they left Terminus after creating this big explosion. I feel like they're going to create some sort of big explosion and then run in. Although Rick in the teaser talked a little bit about catching them by surprise. Really, like the options are infiltration, like really stealthy infiltration, or just smash and grab. Overall though, I gave the episode a solid A. Totally love Carol and Daryl, two of the most interesting characters on the show. Of course, the episode that focuses on them would be one of the best ones of the season. They also have the benefit of being the episode right before the lead up to the finale, or the finale itself, if you consider it a 2-part finale. There's no way that episode is going to be a downer. Just in general, I feel like they've done a much better job in Season 5 of building the tension with each episode. Season 4 Part 1 felt like such of a dead zone in terms of action that you just weren't quite sitting on the edge of your seat whenever we got to the governor's attack on the prison. I mean, yeah, it was a holy shit moment, but I feel like we were kind of blindsided with it. This season is a little bit like that van ride over the bridge, teetering on the edge, and you know what's going to happen. Like, you know it's going to fall, so you just wince and wait for it to happen. Let's all hope that the characters limp away at the end, just like Carol and Daryl. There's always the question about whether or not The Walking Dead needs to kill off characters. They said they killed Herschel off because he felt like such a safety net, like a place of safety for the survivors at the prison. The writers, of course, want to take that safety away from them, so they yank Herschel out from right underneath them. I do kind of see Carol as that kind of character right now. Like, she feels almost invincible. So of all the people that could die during the finale, I feel like she's at the top of the list. It's like the more powerful you are, the bigger target you are in the writer's room. So some things to look forward to next week. Big Carl episode. Looks like he's going to try and force a weapon into Gabriel's hand. Don't think it's going to go well. Also, during the episode, there was a commercial with a Morgan scene from season 1. I feel like that's foreshadowing that he is going to show up in the mid-season finale at some point. Could be episode 7, could be episode 8, but I definitely think he's going to show up somewhere. And if you remember, the last time we saw him, he was armed to the teeth. Just a clear sign that shit is going to go down. Be sure to subscribe to get my video. I'll post it right after the episode airs next week. In the meantime, you can click here for the Q&A video. I'll add the annotation as soon as I post it tomorrow. And you can click here for my episode 5 video. Thank you so much for watching. So let's all high five and say a prayer for Carol.